Hello and welcome to the FI Newscast, where we bring you relevant news in the food and beverage industry. I'm Susan Choi and I thank you for watching. Today is Friday, June 9th, 2023. We have a great show for you today. Our special guest is Andy Gellert, president of the Gellert Global Group. We'll get his take on the current state of the food import sector. But first, I want to make sure you know to check out our full-length interview with John Saxon, Chief of Staff of the 𝗟𝗲𝘁 𝗂𝗲𝘁 Corporation. He was our guest last week, and he gave us so much more than what you saw on our newscast. So many great insights against the beautiful backdrop of Pier 17 in Manhattan. You can check out the piece by clicking the link in the description of this newscast. And now let's cover some of the top stories from this week so far. We start off overseas with a cautiously optimistic outlook on the global economy. The Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development just announced a moderate recovery worldwide at a growth rate expectancy of 2.7% this year, with a slight uptick to 2.9% next year. In a country-by-country breakdown, the United States estimate comes in lower, with growth predictions for both years at around the 1% mark. The overall worldwide outlook is still considered fragile, prone to sudden downward turns, due to factors such as the ongoing conflict between Russia and Ukraine and severe weather patterns affecting crops across continents. This is something coming into play right now, as both China and Australia are facing troubling wheat harvests due to abnormal weather activity in both countries. Over in QSR, the story continues for the sale of Subway. The auction for the sandwich maker should come to a head in about a month, as half a dozen entities are throwing their hats in the ring to be potential buyers. The group includes private equity firms Rourke Capital Group and London-based TDR Capital. The chain had also mentioned back in February that it was exploring a deal with JP Chase. The expected sale price is currently at a little more than $9 billion. This news comes as Subway is currently producing mixed results internally. It continues to struggle to find new franchisees for its US shops, but it has also just reached a deal with a major franchisee to open 4,000 new locations across mainland China over 20 years. Moving over to retail news, the trend keeps shifting towards private labels. In a new report by FMI, more than 80% of industry executives say they plan to increase private label investments moderately or significantly in the next 2 years. They seem to be responding to statistics such as the 2022 PLMA report we mentioned earlier this year, which showed private brand sales increasing by 11% that year, while sales for national brands grew by 6%. However, the FMI report also showed that only 10% of executives said their companies are, quote, very far along with innovation. We'll keep an eye on how they seize the opportunity for further growth in this sector. In earnings news, Cracker Barrel Old Country Store reported its Q3 earnings results, which came in below consensus estimates. The restaurant operator pointed to declines in casual dining traffic toward the end of the quarter. Both comp store restaurant sales and menu prices increased between 7% and 8%, while comp store retail sales declined just under 5%. The Campbell Soup Company also reported Q3 results. Revenues came in at $2.2 billion, which were in line with Wall Street estimates. The company reaffirmed its full year 2023 sales growth guidance of 8.5% to 10%. Its meals and beverages segment experienced a decline due primarily to lower soup sales, while its snacks division grew by 12%, driven by its 8 power brands, including Goldfish Crackers, Snack Factory Pretzel Crisps, and Cape Cod potato chips. And finally, a new development in pizza is sure to purse lips across the country. Pizza Hut is coming out with a new topping, pickles. The chain is now the first of its kind to launch a pickle-topped pizza. The concoction is made up of a hand-tossed crust, a buttermilk ranch sauce base, and toppings of cheese, crispy breaded chicken breast, Nashville hot seasoning, white onion, and a big bunch of dill pickle slices. But before you head out the door to pick one up for yourself, you should know that the $17.99 pizza is only available at one location in Manhattan on 8th Avenue near 55th Street, and it's only selling until June 11th. Whether this pizza goes on the menu nationwide is yet to be determined. And those are your top stories. We're going to turn now to our special guest. He comes to the show with more than 30 years of experience in the food industry. He is president of the Gellert Global Group, one of the largest specialty food distributors in the country. He is Andrew Gellert. Andy, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us.
Great, Susan. Thank you for having me. I'm a huge fan of the Food Institute. You and Brian have done a tremendous job. Ever since I've been working here for over 33 years, the Food Institute's been such a great, great vehicle. And ever since you and Brian have been there, it's really been going gangbusters. So first of all, congratulations.
Well, thank you so much, Andy. That's so kind of you to say. We really appreciate the support, and we as well. We're always big fans of the Gellert Global Group. Thanks so much for joining us. I want to ask you first off, I can't resist but to ask you, would you try this pickle top pizza from Pizza Hut? What do you think?
I love pickles, and I can't wait to try it. I have to go in the city and try it because I think pickles are a great item. We import some pickles, and I eat pickles all the time. I'm a huge fan of pickles, so I can't wait to try it.
Absolutely, me as well. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. All right, let's get right into it. So Andy, you and your family run a multi-billion-dollar corporation of various food companies that span everything from food service to specialty foods, frozen foods, nuts, dried fruits, the list goes on. Talk to me about how the business is doing overall from a growth and margin perspective.
I mean, listen, we're so fortunate that we've been around for close to 78 years, and it's all about family and doing things together and growing together and looking at opportunities. Our suppliers are family, our customers are family, and our people that we work with are family. So we're fortunate that today, COVID's over, we're looking forward, and things are going well. I mean, there are opportunities all the time. There's so much opportunity for growth. I'm very excited for the future.
Are there any specific categories that are standing out amongst the many brands and products that you work with? Are there any that are experiencing above average growth?
Well, a few things. We do a lot. Our sister company, 𝗂𝗏 does a lot in private label. Private label is growing, as you mentioned in your update. So we're very excited about that. Frozen, we made an investment in 𝗂𝗏𝘁'𝗶𝗹 also, and prepared meals and convenience. We're looking for food items that make things easier for the consumer, for the restaurant chain, for the manufacturer. So convenience, natural, people moving away from artificial items, and specialty has a place in that as well. So there's a lot of growing categories that are doing very well today. Right.
Let's talk about the overall economy and its impact on the Gellert Global Group, because we've, even reported, I have just minutes earlier, the world overall, not just the US, has been experiencing downturns, things like inflation, recession, interest rates rising. Andy, what have you been seeing? What has been the impact of inflation on the Gellert Global Group? Talk to us about how things are.
Being an importer where we have to buy food overseas, bring it here to the States, and then deliver to our customers, we have to hold a lot of inventory. So the cost of doing that today is a lot more expensive than it has been. But, we're managing. We're trying to be as lean as possible, hold less inventory, make better turns. We just moved to a new ERP system that should help us, analyze data more. So it's all, besides being creative and being great with our sales and great with our suppliers, we got to be creative on the buy side as well and turn the inventory faster and deliver an item as efficient as possible to our customers.
What about the trend that the food industry has been seeing about that shift from premium brand to private labels? What have you been seeing from your end?
Well, in reality, just because it's private label doesn't mean it has to be premium. A lot of private label items are just as good as a branded item. So I think that's a misnomer for people, that just because it's private label is a lower quality. And many times it's a better quality. And I think we've done a great job of delivering unique items that could be done in private label that the retailer likes to have, and likes to have their variation and opportunities and innovation. There's just as much innovation in private label as there is in branded items.
Right. And what about any trends that you're seeing in shifts from fresh foods to frozen foods? What can you speak about that?
You know, frozen's great. Frozen keeps growing. When you think about it and you look at an item that's coming from Asia or from South America or from Europe, if you could freeze it right away, you hold its quality. And I think it's educating the consumer that a lot of frozen items are as good, as healthy as a fresh item. You look at a fresh fish that's flown in, sits on ice, has to go to a distributor, has to go to a retailer. By the time it gets there, a frozen fish is a better option. And that's true for poultry, for proteins, for meals, for cheese, for everything. I mean, there's a lot of good frozen items that people are finally realizing. And if you look in the stores today, there's so many more options on the frozen side that there is ever before.
Right. I want to move into food service and inflation's impact on food service from where you are. How has that affected Gellert Global Group? For example, in terms of your investment in Five Guys Burgers and Fries. I know that there's a sector of the group that operates, a few dozen of those chains. What are you seeing on that end?
I mean, Five Guys is a great product. Everyone loves a good burger and fries, and Five Guys is quality also. So even though I think, in the category, Five Guys are doing very well because it's quality, it's good. I mean, it's a little bit more expensive than your McDonald's or Burger King, but people are driven to it because of the quality and the good taste. And, I think, it's doing very well. We're very happy, and we keep growing that sector. And we're looking at other opportunities in the franchisee and franchisor space as well.
That's always good news to hear. And, again, from an overall perspective, what are the main challenges that you're facing as a food company these days?
Listen, inflation, as we said earlier about interest rates. So inflation, prices rising. The retailer always wants to have a better option. And I think that we scour the earth looking for opportunities where we can bring value to our customers. Find something that's a little bit more user-friendly, a smaller pack size, all different opportunities to find convenience and take some cost out of the equation.
Great to hear. All right, well, we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to have more with Andrew Gellert of the Gellert Global Group. Stay with us. All right, we are back, and we are back with Andrew Gellert of the Gellert Global Group. All right, Andy, so we talked about the current state of the Gellert Global Group. Let's talk about the future. Where is the group placing its focus in terms of future growth opportunities?
We're always looking for new opportunities, mergers, acquisitions, doing more with our current customer base. We never want to stop. I mean, we've been fortunate, as I said, 7-8 year, third generation family business. I'm only a steward here to pass it on to the next generation and continue what we do. It's a great experience working with family and our professional, with our professionals that we have joining our team. It's a great opportunity for growth. And there's a lot of people who are selling companies today, and we love what we do. We love being a family. We love growing as a family.
And you've mentioned before, all about investment opportunities. That's a big part of the Gellert Global Group. I know that your ear is always to the ground for that next, great product, that next great get. Tell me, what do you focus on? How do you evaluate those potential opportunities? What's the main criteria for you when you're looking?
I mean, we do, first of all, as a group, we made a lot of investments recently. We always continue to do so. And we're looking for just opportunities where we have a good team out there that we could do more by joining our family. And we'll always have our eyes open. And then on a personal level, I really enjoy doing a lot of CPG investments in the food space and talking to these founders and leveraging my network with helping them and becoming a bigger company. It's been very exciting. I probably have about 12 to 15 different CPG investments, and I try to leverage our company and give them the help that we've learned in our 78 years and pass it on to them and let them grow and prosper. And I like to see this continue and maybe be part of our group and even have a fund one day where we can make bigger investments in more CPG companies.
Right. Andy, what would you say, is getting more into investment opportunities? What would you say is like the top the top quality, one or two or even three qualities maybe that you're laser focused on when you're out there, when you're surveying, assessing different brands, different products, and you're on the prowl, so to speak? What really is important to you when you're out there looking?
Well, listen, being in the food business, I think taste is very important. Something has to taste good because you want to be proud about what you sell. And I think it has to have a good trajectory that it could sell. There's a lot of customers out there. Just because something's very good but doesn't have a big opportunity for sales is something that's not worth looking at. So you have to have a good runway for growth. And if you're looking at a company, you want to look at the team that you're buying, and you want the team to continue working with our team as well. So it depends if you're looking at a company or a CPG item, but it's really about people too. You want to find a good company that has good people and good values, and makes it easier to integrate.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting. Quality, runway for growth, and people. Investing in people. I think that sounds really effective, Andy. Moving forward, again, the Gellert Global Group has such a breadth of history, generational, family-owned business. What do you see for the group in the next 5 years? How do you see it evolving?
I just think we'll continue to keep growing. I mean, I know we will. I mean, we're fortunate that we all get along, and we're excited. Hopefully the next generation comes aboard. There's no pressure, but we love to have them come aboard. And we keep growing, so no one steps on each other's toes. There's a lot of opportunity for people and for growth, and we love what we do. And it's fun to come to work every day with our people that we work with our suppliers, with our customers, and our family. So it's nice.
All right, great. And finally, have to ask, the Summer Fancy Food Show is right around the corner, and we know one of the group's storied brands, the Atalanta Corporation, will be making its presence once again. Always great presence, great booth. What can you share with us? How are you feeling? What are you anticipating for this year's show?
I mean, it's a great show. I mean, again, with COVID in our back window, and just like it was last year, it's great to see customers, suppliers, even competitors, friendlier competitors. It's just nice to see people, shake hands, give a big hug to someone you haven't seen in a long time. I love the show. It's so much fun. It's great walking the show, looking, maybe I walk the show, I find a company for sale. So, or I see a supplier I haven't seen, or I see a customer. It's a great opportunity to see people and just get out there and press the flesh. I love it. It's so exciting. I can't wait for the show to begin.
All right, that's great. Andrew Gellert, president of the Gellert Global Group. Andy, thanks so much for your time. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Thanks. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Before we go, we're going to take a look at what's coming up in the food industry in the coming days. On June 13th, the Bureau of Labor Statistics releases its Consumer Price Index and real earnings for the month of May. On June 14th, the BLS releases its Producer Price Index for May. On June 13th and 14th, the Federal Open Market Committee holds its May meetings. On June 15th, the Census Bureau releases its monthly trade retail report for May. And also on June 15th are fresh earnings for Kroger. And last but certainly not least, it's getting to be that time again, as I mentioned, from June 25th to the 27th, FI will team up with the Specialty Food Association to provide live stream coverage of the 67th annual Summer Fancy Food Show. From key interviews with significant figures in the food industry to on-the-ground reporting at the show with hundreds of new and innovative products on display, this production is one you will not want to miss. Stay tuned to foodinstitute.com and our social media platforms for more information. And that's our show. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Susan Choi, and I want you to tune in next week, same time, same place, because we will have another great guest, Bill Lynch, president of the Specialty Food Association. Mark your calendars for that. I also want to remind you to give us some attention on social media. Like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channels. The support really makes a difference for us. Thanks again for watching. Have a great weekend and take care.